Hey guys, SC Knuckles here, coming at you with my annual Christmas update video I always do. We're now in the ending of the year 2021, and oof, what a year it has totally been. The way I can summarize 2021 for you folks is that, well, like 2017, it has not been a good year at all. There's been so much going on for what I have gone through this year, and it clearly just really has been a downhill of a year. I mean, there have been some upsides, and I now have my camera connected to my new PC. I will gladly show. Yep, that's it right there. So, yep, that's it right there. Finally got that up and going. And, yeah, so after that laptop died during Myth Island Remastered, I just had to get this new one, and it took a lot of work to do. Even my old desktop that I was recording passed away too, in quote unquote. And, yeah, so I had to get like 2 new computers this year. Ugh, what a roller coaster it has been. And there's just been a lot of other things going on as well. Let's start with one thing I have mentioned of this year that I am officially going to close the book on this year and in this last video. As y'all remember, back in May, I have officially stated that me and Richter Belmont 12 have parted ways, and just no longer doing things together and no longer interacting. Primarily, this is just to better myself after having some bad outcomes with a group that we've joined, because that group, we basically both me and Richter bonded over the game you saw in the little tribute that I did. We played Destiny a lot, and basically during Destiny 1, during those days, I invited someone that I've idolized on YouTube for years, and he was looking around to do some activities in there with, and so I invited him. And then we just kept on going up until Destiny 2's time, and then one certain thing led to another. I started becoming uncomfortable to play with, and he just started getting invited more and more into the things that I wanted to be a part of. And one thing led to another. I just decided to leave because I just didn't feel accepted in there anymore. Throughout the time, all the way up until this year, I've attempted to just say I'm going to just part ways, not interact with them anymore. Of course, with Richter, we did try to rekindle that gaming time, but unfortunately, I could never ever see a spark ever coming back. I mean, the last time we ever had a good time together was when we played Borderlands 3, but most of our conversations were just us throwing back old Three Stooges remarks that we always loved saying to each other. And that can get stale at times. I'm like, it just didn't end out pretty well, and it just got stagnant after a bit. And the last interaction I remember having with him, it was before I decided to part ways. We tried to do another Brutal Doom setup, and we were having problems with it and everything, and part of me just believed that was a clear sign to just say, you know what, I think it needs to end here. And after seeing him do one stream with that old group, I said au revoir. I mean, not to him directly, but I pretty much said thanks for the memories. And he said, is that a good thing or a bad thing? And I said, it's a good thing. And he said, oh, no problem, not knowing that I just removed him from my old Discord group, and I've left every Discord group that he's owned and been a part of, because I just needed to separate myself from there. I think I've come to the conclusion that, I know I've talked about this a lot with you guys, But I have just come to the conclusion that I regret including my idol in there. I should have remembered the phrase, don't ever meet your heroes or your idols, because it's not going to end well. And I totally regret including him in there. Mostly because it just completely tore me and Richter apart. Because of their, I have to say, selfishness to me, because I didn't deserve any of that. I often tell people I'm the most misunderstood person of all, and they just got the wrong idea of me. And when I tried to rekindle that spirit with them and try and come back, they said no, they still remember me as this, and they want to move past it, which means I'm branded as something I'm not. So I just now come to the conclusion that I just regret everything there. I regret including them in. I regret asking them to play, and I just regret even interacting with them. I don't blame Richter at all. It just, those guys, they just tore everything apart between us two, and that's my final conclusion, since I was mistreated, and that's just unfair, and because Richter and I never rekindled our friendship like old times, it's just no longer the same. Obviously, you guys know I'm a Astros fan, and they lost this year badly, as I would say it. And of course, I mentioned back in August that I succumbed to COVID, but luckily I'm alive now. I'm vaccinated now as well, so, and that was a real horrible time. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was glad for 2 weeks off, but not in that way. And I'm doing a whole lot better now. Everything is going well. And yeah, everything is better with me. I feel really good and everything. Obviously, another bad thing this year, obviously you see me wearing a PAX jacket I've gotten from 2020 when I went there. And it's unfortunate that PAX South will not be happening again. They decided to close the doors on it because of COVID and low sales, which I thought was ironic, because I thought it was a sell well convention, and it was always something I went to. I never announced I was going there, because really, who's going to want to meet me, and who lives in the state of Texas, huh? And one other bad thing that I can mention, that since this is also something on Facebook I'm going to put up, we had our annual family Christmas that we always did, and usually those things can be pretty good. Unfortunately, I would say this one, by my standards, is okay at minimum. Let me explain. Up until, I don't remember when we did those, but when we did the tabletop simulator on Richter's channel, Melee Wizard was a part of that, and he introduced me to the game Arkham Horror, which I do have the actual board game of. I'll go ahead and show y'all. Right, I don't know if y'all can see it. Wow. Let me turn a light on that. Yes, right down there. And Melee Wizard introduced me to that game, and just had an all-around good time with it, and I decided to buy an actual physical copy of it. Well, I tried to introduce that to my brother, nephew, and my cousin one Christmas, and we were having a good time with it. I've introduced the game to my cousins before, and they thought it was awesome. But that one Christmas, if I recall, 2018, I introduced it. We were having a good time with it. But others come in and say, okay, this game is too difficult, let's play something else. And then we just take the stuff off the table, not finish it all. I'm disheartened. Christmas is ruined for me. And it's because they wanted to play something else that they were familiar with, and here I am introducing something, and we're all having a good time with it too. And that's the kind of thing I love, because I love creating these memories of new things. Otherwise, things just become stagnant with us, and we're just doing the same thing over and over. And I know I'm looking at my TV just to make sure I'm recording, but it just, if everything becomes stagnant, I don't consider that memorable. But so the only thing I remembered of that was just getting torn. I mean, cousins tried to make me feel better about it, but the damage was done and everything. I tried to. These days, whenever we play something that long, no one seems to have the motivation to stay with it. They just want to walk off and do something else, and that's. I hate that. I hate that. 2019 sort of resurfaced when we had a lot of people there, and I introduced them to Cards Against Humanity. And even though some of the people there thought it was too vulgar and whatnot, the ones that had a sense of humor, mind, and were drinking, was the best time of all, because it's something I brought, and we were just having an all-around good time. And that's what I considered great memories, at least for me and for everyone, because it's something new and we were having a good time with it. And that was the most memorable thing of all that I remember. The following year, 2020, I tried to do this with some, but they just didn't like it because of the vulgarness and everything that they just left. And I thought, okay, well, I need a comeback from this. So I decided to bring back an old thing we used to do, and that was play bingo. Because at my late grandmother's house, we would do that and win prizes. And so I bought the game, got some prizes. Very, very happy memory of us doing that, and they all thanked me for doing that because I brought back something we all enjoyed, and that's what I love. I love bringing in good memories with something new. In this case, it was something old, and it was great. It was awesome. Now this year, what was supposed to be a good time? I mean, I had taken 2 games there that I wanted to play, and this was one of them right here, this game, and another one is this game right here, if y'all can see it, that one. And of course, my nephew and brother wanted Cards Against Humanity, which I told them, okay, but only if we play one of those other games. And we played the Betrayal one, and there were even some promises of wanting to play it the next day, never fulfilled. Obviously, I played with my brother and nephew, so the criteria was met so we can play cards. The next day, though, when we tried to play cards, well, I had my brother, sister-in-law, and nephew play, and my cousins didn't want to play, and one of them even gave a no thing, and I'm just like, well then. There went a chance at another memory, and this was right after when we were doing our gifts. We were told to talk about a good memory of ours from Christmas, and I mentioned that at my grandmother's last Christmas and everyone before then, we would hang out in a rec room in there and just play like old games in there. We would play Monopoly, we would play Parcheesi, we would just play anything. And looking back now and realizing why we did all that. My grandmother's house was very old. It had no internet in it. You'd be lucky if you got a Wi-Fi signal there. And she only had one TV with HDMI. Did we mess with that? No, because it was in her room. What we had was an old CRT that I was able to connect my GameCube in via like a NES with RF adapter, and we could just play that. I brought the entertainment at that time. And that's what I was trying to replicate here, bring the entertainment. But nobody wanted the entertainment that I brought in. And I knew it was over because when we got there the first night, out came the dominoes. I was like, there it went. I was like, ugh. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing against dominoes, but I really can't make any memories of that. And plus, I don't like games where you have to gamble. And I don't mean gamble like actual money. Like you have to make a gamble, like a guessing, thinking how many you're going to get. There's some games like that, straight domino, I can play. But any of those advanced games, no. And I don't really see anything. And that's something they all like. And it was just... it could have been better. And once I saw those, I was like, well, there went that. I mean... these days now, if I ever get upset about something, I just want to leave and go to a store and something and just be by myself in a much happier zone. And I would have done that. My car wasn't blocked. And if it got worse that time, if I didn't have anybody riding with me, I would have gone home. Yeah, for a 4-hour drive. That's the best I would say. Because the way Christmas works is it's either at my brother's place, who's 30 minutes away, or it's at my aunt's place, who's 4 hours away. This year was hers. And I would have just gone home that night if things just got progressively worse. But I managed to make it through, and it's just like, wow. So all in all, the Christmas this year was just mediocre, in my opinion. It could have been a lot better, but who's to say? I am not the one to just say anything out front. I'm just better off just sitting there and just being like, okay. We did do something at the end that kind of softened the blow, but in the back of my mind I was like, I really wanted to do these things and introduce them to something. But c'est la vie. What can I say? That's life. You can only handle so much, and I was just upset about something. Upset about it, really. Speaking of being upset, let me address something that has been bothering me on this channel for a long time. My LPs. Now, you guys know that I really love all your support and everything you do for my Let's Plays and whatnot, and I'm glad y'all enjoy it. But these numbers, folks, these numbers here, look at this. Remember, Zelda Classic, 60s. Metroid, not even more than 20. Obviously, this part 1 over here, because it was question marked and people didn't know what it was. But look at this. My Metroid Prime marathon that I have going on is not even getting any love and respect. And look, this doesn't even have 10 views. And look at this one. This has over 100. I am really getting irritated with this. And I know some people say, well, actually, when I say some people, I mean one. When some people say that they do enjoy my original titles. I appreciate that, but I need more than just one or a couple. And so that's why I'm going to make now a strict rule, coming up with certain Let's Plays that I plan to do in the future. Because look at this. I am tired of seeing my original titles, especially Metroid right now, getting all this disrespect. And it's just painful for me to see, because the Metroid series I really love, and it's not getting any respect at all. So therefore, guys, we are going to do something. And obviously at the end of the Metroid Marathon is going to be this beautiful gem, Metroid Dread. This thing I'm really looking forward to. I haven't seen anything of it other than a review, but other than that I haven't seen gameplay at all. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. Now, why is this so important to me? Well, evidently, I've mentioned what's left in the marathon. Obviously, we're in the middle of Fusion right now. Next is Corruption, Metroid Prime 3. Then we have Metroid Prime Hunters. And then Metroid Other M. And then this gem. Seeing how my numbers are doing really bad with the Metroid series, I have decided to make these things called Make or Break Let's Plays. What are these? Well, if stuff like this does not get the same reception as Zelda Classic, then I'm going to pull a Melee Wizard and Zelda Classic will diminish. By that I mean it will not come in its own slot. Zelda Classic will come, and then after 3 original titles in the Zelda Classic slot, another Zelda Classic quest will come. Why is this so important to me? Because I have some projects coming up that will mean the most to me. I want to enjoy my time with this, and I want it to be viewed very well. And I've had a lot of games in my Let's Playing time that have not gotten any reception that I wanted. I love Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. Did everybody else? I don't see more than 20 views on some videos, maybe, or I'm not looking at it right now. I loved Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Did anybody else? I don't think so. Symphony of the Night. I enjoyed that game. It was my first time playing. So was Ritual of the Night. But it didn't get the reception I wanted. The Mega Man Marathon. I don't think anybody fully enjoyed that. The Metroidvania Marathon. It was my first time playing Super Metroid Phase On and Axiom Verge. It's just... I hate seeing it. I hate seeing it. And it disappoints me every time. And if I'm going to be doing this, I want it to be enjoyed. Because I'm going to have fun doing this. And I want people to have fun seeing me do it. So that's why, along with this, I have this and the next 3 Let's Plays after it called Make or Break. Now, what will meet the criteria of this thing with Zelda Classic not to happen? Either I get 3 comments by 3 different people, and they can't be consistent. By that I mean person A, B, and C cannot comment on part 2, but 3 new people. But of course, A, B, and C can do part 3, part 5, like every other video. If that sounds too complicated, well then, let's have an original title be 50 views each. I'm not asking for like 1,000 or anything. I'm not anywhere up those numbers. 50 is fine. If each video reaches 50, and don't just hit the refresh button every time just to pass it. I don't think I would even know that, but still, that would be cheap. Then Zelda Classic will remain in its own slot every time. If this doesn't happen, then Zelda Classic will be reduced to now Zelda Classic, original title, original title, original title, Zelda Classic. I'll be basically pulling a Melee at this point. Although Melee's reason is he's burned out on Zelda Classic. I'm just tired of Zelda Classic being the main focal point on my channel. It's not how I started. I started doing this by doing games that I like to play. And entering Zelda Classic, of course, helped, but it's not what I wanted to primarily be. So, yes, and I know you're probably thinking, well, Knuckles, this is a bad thing to do, to, like, threaten. I'm like, well, I want all my stuff to get the same respect as anything, and I just really hate seeing these numbers here to even tell me anything. Like, these numbers don't lie, people. These numbers don't lie. Everybody loves the Zelda Classic stuff. I get it. I enjoy it too. But it's not what I mainly wanted to do. So this and LP Make or Break number 2 and 3, there'll be a new take on the channel, as there's something I have not done. The only hint I can give about them are cult classics. If you know the answer, please keep it to yourself, because it's something I really want to do, and I want to be enjoyable for not only me, but for everybody. One of them I have played, one of them I have not. And the last one will be a sequel to a game that I've already done that I didn't even know came out this year. So yes, guys, I really want everything to get equal love on this channel. And that's why I'm making these Make or Break Let's Plays. And why it's so important for me to have y'all see everything and at least enjoy what I do. So, there you have it, people. Other news I can give is, obviously y'all remember the game I was working on called Reckoning of Osiris. That's still in progress, but the only thing I can now officially say is that it's no longer going to be a Zelda Classic. It's now being changed in a direction. And you'll see what that direction is later on. That's the only hint I will give. But other than that, guys, that's gonna do it for the rest of this video. I mean, I rambled on just about anything I possibly could. Closing the book on a past friendship, and closing the book on a very bad year. Closing the book on a Christmas that could be better. And I just still want to succeed. Guys, I really want y'all to enjoy this when the time comes. I've been waiting for this to come out, and I just want it to have the same love and respect as a Zelda classic, because it's going to mean much. And don't just be like you watch somebody else, now you're going to watch me. Come on, don't be like that. That's not what I vie for. Yes, you can watch a famous person do it, but hey, I just want the same respect in it as well. And there's nothing else for me to say at that point. Other than thank y'all guys so much for watching. I hope you guys had a better 2021 than I did. I'm looking forward to 2022, and hopefully it's a better year for all of us. You guys know the criteria. Leave good comments, subscribe to both of my channels if you haven't, leave a like. Go ahead and follow my Twitch if I ever decide to do anything on there. Keep the positivity going, because you are respected yourself. And until next time, guys, I'm SC Knuckles. Have yourself a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I will see y'all in my Let's Plays. Have a good day, everyone.